Uh, Thanks a lot, Anuj, for coming to this podcast. And in my channel, we have been doing a couple of podcasts on different careers, and community management is one of the most interesting careers. So I was very curious about this role, so I'd invited Anuj. So Anuj, if you can give a quick introduction about you to our audience, it would be helpful.
Sure, sure. Thanks a lot for inviting. Yeah, I'm as well, excited for this. So, hey everyone, my name is Anuj Sharma, as Manoj mentioned. I am a community manager by profession, and currently I'm working at Motilal Oswal. Before this, I've worked with two different tech startups. One is product and one is service. We'll talk a little bit more about that, when we dive deep into the questions. And yes, I have been in the ecosystem for almost like 4 to 5 years with corporate experience of roughly 3 years, I guess, and I've worked in two different domains. Right now, I'm working for financial services. Before this, I've worked for tech ecosystem. I guess I met Manoj there. So this is a very quick brief about me, Manoj.
Got it. And the first, I would like to start with basics, right? Or the foundations. Like, what is community management? Because it's not so popular like other roles, right?
Hmm.
Even when I heard, let's say in a college, only a couple of people would know about it. It's not so popular like software development, etc. So, what is community management?
So putting it out in a very layman term, right? Community management is creating a safe space for many people who have a single interest. For suppose, if I give a very quick example, if you are in a college, right, and you are into arts, there is a arts community, there's an art club, there are people who are managing it, there are a number of events going on, special workshops where they're gonna come and teach you. So that person who is managing that club or that community is a community manager. The activities which is happening in that club is engagement activities, and the people who are attending those workshops, coming to contests and creating arts for them, practicing and trying to get some jobs, freelancing gigs, these are our members. Now just think of it from a bigger perspective, from a brand's POV. Doing the same thing for a brand is community management, where there are certain other KPIs and KRAs where you're generating some kind of branding, marketing, business ROI, business driven communities. So I guess this is a very layman example of what exactly community is, which is easy to understand from a college student's point of view, as well as how this works for a corporate company. So if I give you a very small example, Microsoft student programs and Google Cloud programs, Google developer student programs, sorry, by Google. These are programs which comes under community, right? So these are very small examples. I guess this should explain what exactly community management is and who is the community manager.
Got it. And the next question I had is, so let's say, how did you discover this career choice, right? So it's generally not put up outside, or I don't see even companies come to college to hire a community manager. So how did you discover this career option?
So, as for what I have seen, community companies don't come to hire community managers or program managers, whether it's tier one colleges like IITs or any tier two, tier three colleges. You need to have relevant skills, and company will hire, but they don't go to campus to hire these roles, right? And if you talk about me, in a lot of my sessions, I've mentioned this, that exploration is the key. I am a BTech computer science grad, and I was in the zone that I want to be a Google software engineer. In my first year, I tried everything: IoT, data science, AIML, robotic process automation, uh, dancing. I'm not dancing exactly, but managing a dancing community, cultural clubs, running NGO. I tried everything, and during my third year, I was at a state that I love software engineering. I can become a software engineer, but not like a front end guy or a back end guy. Then I stumbled upon RPA. That was the time where I was practicing RPA, and I was a part of community for like 2 years. Then I started community from my first year, but I was not aware that there is a role for what I'm doing in my college, and company is gonna pay for me. Right, I was not aware of that. So during my third year, I met a guy called Prabhu Srivastav. He works for UiPath right now, and he heads the community in the APAC region. So then I realized what I'm doing in my college and in Jaipur, managing Pi Jaipur, running different communities. I will tech sec of my college. Then indirectly there was a realization ki, hey, the same thing is done by company at a bigger level, and the companies are going to pay for me. in terms of salary, travel, everything. That was the moment when I realized ki, yeah, let's try community management. Uh, it was very difficult for me to convince my parents as well. But if you ask me, how can one find out ki he or she needs to be a community manager? I guess that is through experience, right? You can start working in different NGOs. You can start working in tech communities, be a part of it, whether it's in your college or in your city. And after COVID, I guess there are no geographical boundaries as well, right? Anybody can be part of anyone's community. Explore, level up, have some conversations, talk to the moderators, try to come into a responsibility role where you have some responsibilities on you of managing. You figure out ki whether this is something you want to do or not. Then you'll realize ki, okay, community is fixated, okay, I'm going to be a part of community management domain. And then you need to figure out which field, whether in tech or finance or crypto, or probably you could be in sports. I have a lot of friends who are in sports ecosystem. So I guess there is no specific point key. Yes, if you read this, if you do this course, if you complete this course and give this test, you will become a community manager. No, it's not that. Becoming a community manager is all about experience. Your journey can start from a community. It can start from being a content writer. It can start from being a marketing guy, or it can start from, being a host, anchors. I've seen people being anchors and hosts for like 2 years, or being content writers and then switching to community managers. So it's when you realize ki, you want to do something more. I guess that's how I stumbled upon ki, hey, now I'm going to be a community manager and I'm going to run communities for businesses. So that's my journey, in a very crisp.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting. Even I was able to relate to it, right? Career exploration is very important. Until you
Yes.
explore or awareness, you get awareness about a particular career option, then you'll not even go or think of that. You'll just be in a circle of things right? So that's something very interesting.
You ask any community manager in the ecosystem, Manoj, if anybody gives a different answer than this, ki, I was not
Yeah.
planning to be a community manager, but I am now, and it was a very good decision. If anybody gives a different answer from this, I'll change my name. You ask any community manager, everyone would say, hey, I was in a different stream, then I switched to this, or I was doing this, then I switched to community. Everyone will say the same thing.
Got it. Yeah, I think the next question I had is one interesting thing is, let's say I got to know about a community manager role. It's like maybe more fun and interesting when doing at a college level, because the people. Let's say if I'm
Hmm.
running a community in my college, I'll know who are the people, and it's very easier and better to manage, right? But how can one specifically validate if it's a career option for me? Because once I become a community manager in a company, I'll have some professional responsibilities also, right? And also specific characteristics, etc. So how can one validate, okay, now I'm doing good in college, but I want to even take it as a professional? Like, how can one arrive at that decision?
See, for me, that decision was when I realized that I'm managing many things at the same time. I was a technical secretary of my college, so all the tech communities were under me. At the same time, I was running Pi Jaipur at Jaipur level. And along with that, I was handling a lot of corporate collaborations for my university also, which included UiPath company and Automation Anywhere and many more. Right? I realized that I can handle people of different age group, be my college, be stakeholders from a different company, right? And at the same time, during COVID, my college gave me an opportunity to work with Niti Aayog, where I had to manage and train, school students and share knowledge about entrepreneurship, RPA, technical knowledge, speaking skills and stuff. So that was the point when I realized, ki, hey, I can manage school students. I won't say exactly manage, but engage with them in a very good way. I can manage and engage college students. I can handle stakeholders, the people responsible for running programs and communities in different colleges throughout India. I can handle them. I can fulfill the targets they are giving me. I can manage my faculties and teachers. So I feel that I can take it up as a career option. I know the responsibility is pretty big, but when you go into the corporate, there will be a hand holding at the initial stage, especially in the community role, because community is something which evolves. Like if you are a software engineer, you will have a specific role that you're going to do this, and if there's some issues in that, or you're going to develop that, but you fix, yeah, this is my work. In community, it can change, right? Company goals are changing from branding to, probably product adoptions. Then you're going to create some kind of strategies, for more adoptions, like we did at Savo Labs when I was working at Savo. I guess that was the time when we both connected and we had
Yeah.
a conversation, right? So, uh, again, it's the same thing. It's not then ki, today I'm going to decide whether community is the go ahead for me. It's about, first of all, whether you enjoy it. Second, the people you are engaging right now, are they happy with you? So you get an understanding of what I'm doing is right, right? Second thing. Third, the senior people, your college faculties, the company people, the community manager and program managers from different companies with whom you're working in the corporate collaboration. Do they feel that you're doing good? So these are some validations along with some basic skill sets. You need to have sympathy, empathy. You need to have communication skills, people management. I'm not talking about hardcore community skills. I'm talking about general skills. If you
Hmm.
are coming into a community or a program management role, you need to have these. So if you figure out these things, it takes time. You can't sit in a week and decide this. It comes with experience. So it's better, as I said in my previous question also, that spend time in different communities. Everything would be getting clear. 1 month you will clear something, next month you will get a clarification on some another question. So it's like that. And talk to people. Community people love to talk. Talk to them. They'll help you figure out, you know, what he or she should be doing by sharing their own experience.
Got it. Uh, Understood. That's actually clear. So basically, the path is first I be a part of a community, then
Yes.
I take up responsibilities, then I figure out, yeah, if this works for me or not.
Hmm.
Uh, Understood. So as we also talked about skills, the next question is like, what are the community manager skills, right? Soft skills, hard skills. What are the skills they should master?
See, I guess for the generic skills section, I've already covered, right? Empathy, sympathy, communication skills, people management. Then I feel that if you have these skills and you're starting a community journey, I guess you would be fine for the first 6 months. Company will help you develop more skills then. Now, if I talk from a point of view where you have 1 to 2 years of experience, from I'm sharing this from a point where a person is envisioning, ki, okay, next is whatever skills I need to have, right? If you talk to me right now, I'll say, first of all, event management. It doesn't matter whether you are in community or you are in an event management company, but there are a lot of events happen in community, right? So you need to have the skills. It's not that you're going to organize event end to end. There are going to be teams to help you out. But if you don't have that skill, managing different stakeholders, managing different vendors, managing, your audience who's going to attend your event. So I guess uh, a lot of problems which were supposed to happen would not happen if you have that skill. That would come by managing events at college level. The cultural affairs, technical affairs. If you can do that, I feel slowly you will build that skill. Second is strategic thinking. So even in my community right now, that's what I am telling to my interns who are working with me. Ki, if you're doing one thing, right? If you're answering a question in community, it needs to be in a way that it has multiple ROIs. First, if Manoj is asking a question, if I'm answering it, it should be a little bit detailed so it answers your questions as well as the follow up questions which can come from that answer. It for me in Motilal, it can be linked to a cross product promotion as well, right? It could be tagging some other experts so that we get more engagement. Why I'm giving example is ki, if you're doing one thing community, it needs to be it needs to have multiple ROIs. It could be engagement, it could be retention, it could be product promotion, it could be probably getting more people to come and see what's happening, increasing your daily active members, and at the same time it could be generating business. So for me, this is a strategic thinking where you're planning multiple things and everything has multiple ROIs. So these,
Got
for
it.
me, these are two important skills. Other are some basic which I've already mentioned, and apart from that, I guess a little bit experience. I won't say it's a skill, but for a community manager, you need to work with different teams, right? If you're going to be a successful community builder or a community manager, you need to work with product, you need to work with sales, you need to work with marketing, customer support, etc., etc. So I guess a little bit experience with these teams would be a very great addition, so that when you're planning your campaign, when you're planning or making your own strategy or the roadmap for your community, you'll keep all the aspects in mind. Ki if I launch this thing, what would I need from the marketing team, what would I need from the branding team, what would I need from the content and the graphics team, how would this impact the roadmap of the product team, and how much time will it take to develop, right? So a little bit experience of all these things. I guess startup is a very good place to explore, because in startup, even if you have one role, you can help or work out in different roles also. When you come in a big organization, you have a very specific role and you're going to work in your role in your team. It limits the opportunity to work parallelly with other teams also. But so it's not a skill, but it's good to have experience of other teams as well. It makes your work easy at the end.
Got it. I think just to summarize, so first is event management, second is okay stakeholder collaboration to understand, and third is even metrics, right? You told about how community management can drive different ROI, and other like soft skills you told, like communication, collaboration with different
Hmm.
teams, vendors, etc.
I'm sorry, I'm mentioning so many things at the same time, because I'm like, yeah, I should share this also. This could be important. I'm sharing a lot of things, but thanks a lot. You're summarizing it at the end of what I wanted to say.
Yeah, no problem. So I'm considering myself as a audience who is listening, right? And I'm trying to
Yes.
summarize so that it's helpful for others. So the next question I had is, so there are a lot of things you need to do, right? So what are some common tools that a community manager should know? Or let's say the follow-up question of that would be, okay, are these tools will be same? Like kind of, let's say if I say data analysis, Excel or Google Sheet is the only common tool, right? But let's say in other org it might change, something
Hmm.
like that. So are
Understood.
the tools same, and will they change across org to org?
So there is one tool which is my favorite. It has been with me since my college times. It's Notion, right? Whether it's planning, whether it's documentation, whether it's a document which you want to show publicly without involving the tech team, and who don't want to develop something, whether it's collaboration, like you are sharing it with multiple people and everyone is going to work on the same thing, and from everything from writing content to managing the product timeline, community timeline, everything can be done on Notion. So Notion is a go-to tool for me, which one should know how to use if you want to be more efficient. That's one thing. And coming to the point where you asked about the tools for specifically for community management, I guess that differs from community to community, not company to company, but community to community. If you have a community on Discord or Slack, there are gonna be different tools. Threado is one, to manage different bots and data analysis. If you have a custom built platform, like my community right now, we are working with Build on Scenes. So they have integrated it with Mixpanel. Mixpanel is a very good tool for data analysis. So it differs. So in my community, if I need to automate something, I need to develop it from scratch. If your community is on Discord or is on Slack, there are pre-built bots to do with that, right? There are a lot of tools to help it. So I guess it depends upon what platform your community is. If your community is on Facebook, same thing. There are different tools for Facebook. So I'll say ki if you are building a community, first figure out which is the right platform for you. Facebook, Discord, WhatsApp community, Slack, Microsoft Teams, or any custom platform, right? Then start looking for different tools for specific thing. So if you need, like for engagement, so there could be some bots, there could be some tools to help you onboard your members. Search for that. I know the question was which are the best tools, but I'm sharing it how to figure out which are the best tools, right? If you have your community on a custom platform, then Mixpanel is go to thing for me, for data analysis. So when you figure out which is the best platform, then for each thing, for data analysis, for engagement, retention, onboarding, figure out tools. There are many tools for this. And after AI, there are n number of tools are coming. Like the tool which we are using for podcasts, this will help us create a good podcast, and it will help us create good reels. There are n number of benefits of these tools, right? There are similar platforms, but this is one of the best one. So I guess I can't give you the list of tools right now because that differs from platform to platform. But yes, I have given you the journey of how you can do that.
Got it. Yeah, that
Notion being
helps.
Notion being my favorite, all-time favorite.
Yeah, Notion is also something I've started using recently. Yeah, it's something that
What's
helps.
your experience? I know it's a podcast where I have to answer, but what's your experience of Notion?
It's good. So Notion I was using for personal use before, but now I've also started using it for professional purposes too. Even for like YouTube, right? I write down the podcast next which we are going to do. What can be the possible questions? Something like it has everything. It has Kanban board. You can do project management. You
Yes.
can do
And the
calendar.
best part is we have pre-built themes and formats.
Yeah, website. So even my
Correct.
projects I have hosted on Notion only because it's very easy
Yeah.
to chat to someone. Uh, yeah. Perfect. So the next question I had is, so let's say you told about program management too, right? Like in your conversation. So what's the difference between a program manager and a community manager? So nowadays there are a lot of roles and sometimes it becomes too overwhelming or confusing for people here to choose it. Okay, program manager, it feels like a very senior role or something like that. So what's the difference between both the roles?
See, this answer might sound very basic, but
Hmm?
I feel considering the current scenario in the Indian ecosystem, some company call the role of community program manager, program management, and it's vice versa in some company, right? In some companies, a community guy is reporting to a program guy, whereas it's vice versa in some other companies, a program guy is reporting to a community guy. So, for if you ask me, program manager is the person who handles a specific program for a specific outcome. Whereas the role of community manager, the primary role of community manager is to build a space, safe space for the company, for the clients, for the members to come and talk, engage, build that ecosystem, and then fulfill their KPIs, whether it could be in terms of branding, marketing, collaborations, uh, you know, product adoption, business, sales, etc. So this is
Hmm.
the difference. Yes, there are some overlapping roles. We don't have a program manager at Motilal Oswal. We only have a community manager, right? In some companies, like I guess in Google, you have both community as well as program, and some aspects of these roles overlap. So I guess if a person is looking out for roles, they can consider both a program manager and a community manager. Like you can search for both the roles, read the JD, and figure out which is the best one for you. Right? There is a difference, but it's very minute. It's like a gray area. Community manager and a program manager. It's a gray area, but yes, for program manager, primary focus is to run a program and strategize the entire thing. For community, it is not a program, but to strategize and run an entire community. I hope this answer helps. I know this is a very vague answer, but
Yeah, yeah,
being
help.
honest, the last job before Motilal, when I was looking for both a program manager and a community manager.
Got it. Uh, and the next question I had is, so let's say now, what kind of companies generally hire a community manager? So is there a specific type of companies? So let's say developer. I see this developer that is business to developer brands, right? Hire community managers for sure, right? So what are the specific types of companies that hire community manager, or now everyone has started hiring? Is
Yeah,
sometimes I feel. Hmm.
Manoj, I guess now everyone has started hiring for these roles, right? A few days back, when I was looking for some community roles for my friend, I saw Indigo was hiring.
Oh,
Being honest,
okay.
I never expected an airline company to hire a community manager. Right. So that was pretty new to me. So and right now people have started understanding the importance of community. So I have seen sports company hiring community managers. I have seen uh, bookstores hiring community managers. Big bookstores, they're hiring community managers. Tech, may you already mentioned, like almost every company, whether it's B2C or even B2B, for managing. So for example, if we both are in B2B relationship, my company has many business owners to whom we are connected and we are running business together. So then there are community managers who are hired just to manage the business owners, plan out engagement for them, retention, and probably acquire new business partners when it's a B2B thing. So I guess now we can't say that this specific industry is hiring. Few years before, if you ask me, I would have given you a very specific answer. Ki Manoj, these are the five industries which are hiring community managers. But right now, I feel everyone is hiring a community manager. But there's an issue in this also. People don't know what a community manager exactly do. Sometimes I see the role of receptionist being a part under the community. Some are expecting a community manager to create entire social media plan, content. So I guess we need to take a step back, like from a business point of view, and we need to, we being community people, we need to share what exactly community is. So thanks for inviting me on this. So I guess this answers the question. Like everyone is hiring, you need to figure out which is the right role for you.
Got it. Even I see people are using community as a way to stand out or to retain more users.
Yes.
Then Udacity, I think they launched their community platform recently.
Hmm.
Uh, so yeah,
And because of this, community managers are facing a lot of issue. So what companies are doing, they are hiring community managers. Ki, hey everyone, we are looking for a community manager with 2 years of experience. A community manager joins. They don't have any vision. They don't have any goals. They're like, build a community. Now, when a community person, a community guy starts building a community, within 2 months, they're expecting, we need X amount of sales, we need X amount of leads out of it, or we need X amount of engagement. That's not how it works. For community, it takes time. Sometimes the time is less, depending on how big your bucket is for the members. Sometimes it takes time to build over, it's an overtime journey. I was hired at Motilal Oswal last August. My community was launched in the month of April, and right now we are a good strong community of around 40,000 members. But I have seen people building community in like 3 months, and then the community is dead after 6 months because the community manager left due to toxicity, because the senior managers and senior management did not have clarity of what they exactly want. So whoever is watching this podcast, please choose your journey. Please choose your company very carefully. And for the people who are hiring community managers, carefully create your JD and a proper vision for your community manager to come and build your community.
so just out of curiosity, you told about Motilal Oswal community. Is it a closed community or anyone interested in investing
So it is a
finance?
closed community as of now.
Okay.
We are in a discussion, whether we should open it, whether we should keep it closed. We are in the phase of planning that. But I guess we'll have an answer by March whether we are. If we are going to open it, it would be. So my community is ready to go live right now. If you want to go public, I can go live tomorrow. But it's a big company. There's a lot of things at stake. Marketing, branding, companies, repo, how what's gonna happen. There are many question marks also. I have
Got it.
answers to some questions and I don't for some. But yes, probably by Feb or March we'll get to know whether Stockholm is coming public or not. So Stockholm is Stocks Community and more. That's the name of my community. So we'll get to know. And yes, if you are listening to this when the community is live, do join.
Thank you. And the next thing I had is, how does a day in a life of a community manager would look like?
So sometimes it's a very, very easy going day, and
Hmm.
sometimes it's a roller coaster ride. Because you ask any community guy, no matter how hard you plan, something or the other thing would mess up your strategy, and then you need to go there as a firefighter and save the day. So if I talk about a normal day, it's normal. Go talk to your community members on your platform. If you have anything scheduled, just do a checklist. Okay, we have a session at 3, invite sent, mail sent, WhatsApp notification sent, do a small checklist of the event. And so the first half, like 9 to 12, is checking the current scenario of the community, updating the reports, checking the members, checking what kind of engagement we received during the night time, reverting to the queries, ensuring everything is on track for community to sustain one more day, right? Everything is on track. Then after 12, the strategizing part. This is for me. This is my day. What I'm sharing. So 12 to 3 includes lunch as well as the strategizing. Okay, so this month is sorted. What we are going to do next month? This is the 12 to 3 is the time where I brainstorm with my team. What should we do more to make it more happening? How we can engage more customers? The why part and how part comes in between 12 to 3. What we are going to do, why we are going to do, and how we are going to do. So that's the time where we brainstorm. And after 3 to 6 is the time where we plan things. So whatever we decided in between 9 to 3 gets planned in between 3 to 6, and the operation starts. And this operation is continued next day in between 9 to 12. So I've divided my day in a pretty good format that I'm going to take care of the operations during this time. I'm going to strategize during this time, and I'm going to plan during this time. So for me, planning and strategizing is a different thing. Strategizing is like coming up with a program, which is going to get me 500 leads, 10,000 accounts. I'm going to increase my DAUs and MAOs to by 2,000 members. And planning is where I create a roadmap for it, the involvement of which team at what point would be needed, how I'm going to manage different stakeholders. So this is the difference between planning and strategizing, at least for me. So this is a day of a community manager in a normal scenario. And yes, when you're planning an event, launching a community public, when you are launching a new feature or a new series, then that's a pretty different story, opposite to this, because that involves a lot of teams working together to do a single thing, right? So
Yeah,
this is the day. I want to add one thing here. We were talking about jobs and different levels, right? So even in community manager, there are many sub roles which we figure out when we like work in the ecosystem for some time. Community marketing manager, community business manager, community moderators, community manager, community product managers. So this is a new role which I heard and I saw a few months back. A startup in US, I guess, was hiring community product manager. So the role of that person was to help product team develop their product using community. Creating a feedback cycle and a adoption cycle through community, and using the community to be like a beta testers for them. I guess it's something similar to what we did at Savo Labs, where our community were the first people to check out any new features, give feedback. We used to develop on the basis of that. So why I'm mentioning this? Because community management is not the only role you can expect when you land into a community ecosystem. If you are into an event agency, right, and they are planning to build a community for them, for the clients, you could be a community event manager where your main job is to manage a community or engage them through events. So there's many hybrid roles which are coming, which are not yet popularized in India but still present in the Western ecosystem.
got it. Yeah, that's something interesting. I think this role is going to evolve a lot by
Yeah,
seeing the future of it, like many companies hiring. Uh, that's something I'm excited for. Like, what's
same. Yeah, even the whole community ecosystem is like trying to uplift and popularize these roles, the exact way of how community works.
got it. The next question I had is like, even I have a answer for this by the conversation we had, but let's say you can tell or by summarize those, right? So, what are the common metrics or goals a community manager chases? So, lot of things you told: events, community moderation, leads, engagement, retention,
Okay,
etc. But what are
okay.
like specific goals? So you can say
Manoj, can you hear
like
me?
number of members in the community or number of active members in the community or anything that you want to add on.
So I'm gonna first mention the basic ones: daily active users, weekly active users, monthly active users. Same bifurcation for acquisition. Like how many people are joining your community on daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, and then the retention. That if a person joined your community today, how many days he is visiting your community continuously? Day one, day two, day three, day four, day five, like that. So these are basic ones. I guess it's same for every community. Then post this, it depends upon what exactly you're aiming for. Like when I talk about Savo Labs, one of my community matrices were how many people are integrating Savo in their projects. That was one thing, right? My one of the matrices right now is at Motilal Oswal. How many people are coming to my community and trading on their own rather than talking to an advisor, right? DIY trade. So what if there's an advisor, he's managing 100 clients. If 50 clients are on community and 30 people are trading on their own or investing on their own, So my advisor has the bandwidth to reach to more 30 to 40 more customers and manage them, right? So that's one of my matrices here. So it depends what exactly your company wants. If I guess events is a pretty common a thing which we do in every community. So number of registrations we are getting for the event, number of people who are attending. So it's registrations versus attending, whether it's online, offline. And if it's a sales event, how many leads did we generate? If it's a cross product promotion event, so how many people showed interest into a new product? So community doesn't mean sales, but when you're working for a brand, it's an indirect sales. So for example, if you are attending any session on Motilal Oswal's community, my community, we're not going to sell you anything. You're going to come, you're going to attend. Let's suppose it's an insurance session. You're going to know everything about insurance. At the end, we're just going to say, ki, whatever we shared, we have at Motilal. If you're interested, just say hi. Our team will reach out to you. If anybody says hi, that means we are generating business for our company as well. So it depends what exactly your community is made for, what your brand is aiming for. But yes, the basic ones are the same: acquisition, retention, active users, product adoption. Probably, there is one thing which can come into play after you have your community, you know, been there in the ecosystem for some time, is that how many social media mentions we are getting. That is
Hmm.
also indirect marketing which we are doing, right? I'm not saying ki Manoj go and say I love Stockholm, but if you are enjoying your journey, you're gonna put it out ki I made profit on Stockholm, or I met this XYZ expert at Stockholm, right? So that is also a metrics which people track, by the way, and there are tools to do this also. You don't need to go and search hashtag your community name and see number of posts. There are tools which will show you ki how many tweets we have, how many mentions we have, and everything.
Got it. So that's like when a community member gets a value out of the community, they are going to put it out on social media, right? I learned
Correct.
this, or I met this person. That's something that even I've seen in a lot of other communities too. Yeah, that also creates trust on the brand, right?
Correct. So,
That
adding to this, I'm really sorry to interrupt. At Savo Lab, one of my matrices were how many leaders are we creating from Savo? So, we had a program called Savo Champ, right, where we used to have a group of like 25 to 30 people who are helping us create our community vibrant and more engaging. But at the same time, these people were responsible to represent our brand. So, for example, if we are sponsoring a hackathon, so rather than a Savo employee going there as a mentor, we used to send a Savo champs. So we wanted to create these leaders. So I won't take the name, but there were quite few who did good, and a lot of people, are doing good right now as well. I guess I connected to Chavi from the Savo Champ program. I connected to Rohit, the DevOps guy from Savo Champ program. So I guess the program was good, and people appreciated it. So yeah,
got it. So I think there are a lot of things, right? Even sub initiatives, which you told, like creating more community managers. Like these people
yeah.
will become community managers in the future, uh, right? So yeah. And next question I had is like, what are the common community manager interview rounds in general? So what are those rounds?
See, till now it's been the same for me. First is you create a resume, you send it, you get shortlisted, you are selected for the interview. Now, there can be 3 rounds or there can be 2 rounds. The first would be the normal one where the interviewer comes, talks, and see what your mindset is, and depending upon the role, experience you are applying, he'll ask the questions. If you're a freshie, what is your take on the community? How did you manage your community in your college? When I applied for Motilal, it was like, what's your plan to launch Motilal Oswal's community? How are you going to manage multiple stakeholders? So senior level questions, right? After this, 95% of the time you'll get an assignment. Now that assignment would be a hypothetical situation for that company. You have to plan an XYZ campaign for our company, in through which we need to get these three ROI. Probably more members or more people joining community, or more people subscribing to that company's services. So you have to create a program, or you have to create a plan for a hackathon if you're applying for a tech company. How you're gonna run a meetup city level chapters. So an activity round, then either second round is gonna be a final round. So there are two situations. Next round would be final. So this was for me in most of the scenarios. Or the other scenario is that next round would be discussing the plans, countering the plans. Okay, what if this goes wrong? What you're gonna do? What if this doesn't happen like the way you have planned? What you're gonna do? So it's like brainstorming and killing you out on the plan which you have made, and then you're gonna have your final round. There are no like 6 rounds, 7 rounds. There's nothing like that. And the final round would be discussing the salary, which is my best round. I love the round. Everybody loves it.
Everybody loves. Yeah. Got it. I think that summarizes it. And the last question I had is any resources you refer to learn product management, even people, right? Any blogs, any specific job board that you want to tell about?
So, if you want to know about community management, what are frameworks, what are the kind of communities, what are the use cases or the case studies, the best way to learn is follow community managers who post out content. If I take some names, Ritu Mukherjee, Vineet, Avni Parekh, then we have, I am forgetting the name,
Paras,
but yes,
couple of.
shit, I forgot his
I
name.
think you can share those links with me. I would attach them in the
Sure.
description.
So
No
these
worries.
people have shared many frameworks, many case studies they have worked, and the names which I took are not of the people who are working fresh. They're not freshies. I mean, they have been in the ecosystem for like 10, 15 years. They are way too experienced, and now they are working as consultants. They have built communities for big brands. So just follow them. That's one thing. If you need a specific course, so I guess CMX MBA is a good way. It's a, I guess, 6 months course which you need to complete with assignments and stuff. You can read books. There is book by Richard Millington. Then there's Building Brand Communities by Karen. So these are some books which I have read. I don't read books, but these are the only two books which I have read till now. So yeah, this is the way. And third is experience and connecting to different community managers. The best way to learn about community management is from experience. So we have a group of community managers, like many groups managed by different people. Each group have more than 100, 200 community managers around the ecosystem globally. Whenever we are stuck on something, we put there ki, hey, I'm having struggle with this thing. What to do? So someone with the experience would say ki, hey, I did this, this, this. Your work is done. You just need to incorporate that into your own plan. So I guess the best way to learn is connect with people. There
Got
are
it.
many offline meetups happening throughout India for community managers. Just even if you are not a community manager, just go and meet. You'll get clarity on many things.
Yeah. I think the part you told, right, you have a community of community managers, right?
Yeah.
So there are like 99% plus chances that someone would have already solved that problem, which you are
Yes.
facing now. That will help you a lot.
So when
Got
I
it.
joined, I'll share a very small story. When I joined Motilal Oswal, I was not aware of stock market. I was not aware of the timing of stock market. That the stock market closes 3:30. I was not even aware of that. Right? I just posted out in 2, 3 groups. One is managed by Deepak. Yeah, you can follow Deepak also. He's a pretty good guy. He is working on Scroll.me right now. So I just posted out in his group ki, hey guys, I've joined Motilal Oswal and I need some tips from finance community managers. I got 6 DMs. Two were from US, others were from India, startups and big brands, and they gave me a head start of what should be done. It's made my work easy. So collaboration, like हमारे खून में है. Like you lead a community manager, you will get collaboration in the blood. It's like that.
Got it. Uh,
We are
yeah,
connected in the same manner, right? We connected through community. our
exactly.
our roles are not overlapping. We're not in the same ecosystem, right? But we're still connected.
Yeah, that's the beauty, right? We like it helps multiple people across different geographies, different
Correct.
domains, different roles to connect with each other who have a common interest. And community manager is a facilitator for that. He
It's
acts as
it's
a
more like a
catalyst.
center point for
Yeah,
everything.
got it. Uh, cool. Then I think we have covered all the topics that I wanted to ask. And thanks a lot, Anuj, for coming here. Anything you want to say to our audience before we close the podcast? And thanks a lot for your time.
Same here, Manoj. It was really fun connecting. And guys, you won't believe this is the first time we are talking face to face in last 3 years, three and a half years. And adding a point, I guess I have shared a lot of things. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn or on Insta anywhere. I would be happy to help. And I guess don't stop exploring. That's my the end statement here. Don't stop exploring, because if you talk about my journey, I shared about the college. I joined Savo Labs. It was a product slash SaaS company. So I worked for a product company 6 months. Then I took a risky move and I switched to a service company for 6 months. Then I fixed that I'm gonna work for product company only, not a service centric company. But I was not satisfied. And one of my friends said, Ki, yeah, you build communities in tech. And there are many people doing it. Can you do it in a different domain? That was the point where it triggered, Ki, let's try. So now I shifted to finance. So even for people, people see my life on Instagram and say, Ki, you have a very stable life. No, my exploration is a very risky thing. But keep exploring, but you should know when to stop. Right. I think I can still explore different things for 2 to 3 more years. Then I'll start looking for some stability, because it will help you, get understanding of what exactly you want to do. So yes, that would be my end statement here.
Got it. Thanks, man. Thanks a lot, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.